Alright, I want to welcome you back to another episode of JPublic Plays Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Pardon me. I apologize for the cutoff, the abrupt cutoff at the end of last episode. My cat started getting up to shenanigans and I had to go deal with them, so I cut off all the audio of me dealing with kitty shenanigans. Wow, that was fast. That is one of the big problems with the S-Stock and other pokey weapons of that nature. They do not adjust well to different heights between you and your enemies, so it can be quite problematic. And I particularly find these guys really hard because they just seem to, I don't know, they seem to have a good ability for just bypassing right through my my ability to defend myself. Which is weird because, oh cool, he poisoned himself. Which is weird because they're not really that tough. Like, you can see from my attacks they take 3 hits. That's not a lot. But it's simply I'm just getting killed way too easily from them because, I don't know, they kind of stun lock me, I guess would be the way to view it. Now, I showed you the trick with the with the binoculars before. If I had enough arrows, which I don't, I would just use arrows here, and that actually works a lot better because, you know, easier to aim and everything. But since I'm just working with my ability to cast spells, I'll do it this way. Not the most effective and efficient use of spells, but it does save me some grief. The wonderful thing about Grave Wardens is that as an Estus carrying enemy, they are one of the enemies that happens to have an Estus flask on them. They are, by their very nature, prone to using it at stupid points in time. Which means you can exploit that. If you can get them wounded enough that they want to use their Estus, then you have a chance to basically drill the crap out of them. Now here's where I died one of my previous attempts at this area. Woof. That was close. And in here, for all this work, pike. The pike is a very long spear. Let's equip it and I'll show you. Where is it? Here it is. If you read, very long reach. So, very long, and it's got a sort of a charging attack, and then if you two-hand it, you got that, another charging attack. So that's the pike. Yeah, whatever. That's what I say to that? That is one thing I really find odd about these guys. For some reason it seems that my shield does nothing with them sometimes, and I don't know what it is. Like, I thought I had it up, but it appears that they've got a sort of an attack window that exceeds their weapon, almost. It's weird. I only ever notice it with these guys. I don't know what it is, but it really drives me nuts. And that was just me being stupid. You know, I'm dying a lot here. And I know you guys are going, wow, JPub, I thought you were really good at this game. No, I'm not. I'm not really good at this game. I've platinumed this game, but I'm not good at it. My problems are also exacerbated, I guess, by the fact that I've been playing a lot of Bloodborne, and so my reflexes are kind of weird. And yeah, I just used that simply because of the fact that I'd been way too injured and I was just tired of that. This is me trying to shortcut these jerks. Need to remember I don't have the regain ability from Bloodborne. I keep on thinking, oh, I got hit, I can just hit him really fast and that'll be it. Yeah. The real problem is that I think the S-Stock is just not a great weapon for this. These guys move really quickly, and it's just not working for me here. I'm really tempted to switch back to the mace. In fact, I'm going to do that and see if I can do better. Where's my mace? Watch this, I'll do about 1,000,000 times worse. I don't know what it is with those guys, but I just have a need to make them poison themselves. It's cheap as all hell, but I don't care. I hate those guys. So yeah, let's try the mace. Run, run, run. Now that I've aggroed him, run. Alright. Whoa. So as you can see, the mace isn't doing nearly the damage to that guy. There we go. Little bit of space. Oh, yeah. Forgot I was covered in garbage. So anyway, after you get past these guys, which I'm sure none of you will have that much difficulty with, you have this guy. Now, I'm actually going to switch back to the S-Stock because it's better for dealing with him. Come on, wake up. There we go, backstep. Now, go through this door as soon as you can. This is the bonfire. Once you're at this bonfire, you do a little trick. You light a torch. You walk back here. And in the least kept secret in the game, you set this alight. That sets this entire thing aflame in the least impressive burning I've seen in I don't know how long. But I think in the next couple seconds, or not, maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, there we go. It stops turning. Now, what that does is a little bit interesting. And it pretty much directly relates to the... And I died from poison. It pretty much relates directly to the poison pools you've seen, especially the one outside the bonfire in Harvest Valley, that first bonfire where there was a poison pool outside of it. You know, where, right near where we saw Chloanne. That poison pool was fed by this windmill, and in a later part of this section, particularly the boss, will also be affected by this, which leads to a very interesting bit near the boss of this specific area. Basically, if you get summoned, you know, you're playing and you get summoned, and the guy you're playing has not gotten rid of a pool of poison right outside the boss's chamber, he's probably not very good, and you're gonna die, because that boss is really hard without the without having removed the poison pool. Now, this gate here was weird in the original game. It was open. In Dark Souls 2, it was wide open, and so you could just walk right through there. In this, they had somebody run through and lock it. So, you can't go that way now. And those guys who I killed up there, who are hanging off those rafters, they weren't in the original Dark Souls 2. So, what makes this interesting is, this can more or less give you a shortcut all the way to the boss. If you take this path, that's towards the boss. And that was really stupid of me. So, it's kind of interesting that what they've done by closing that door off is put you into a position where you are encouraged, like getting all the stuff in the level is really way off the beaten path. So we're gonna do that because I like getting stuff. Let him shoot me with an arrow again, and then grab my flame butterfly. Now here's how this works. See that right there, which you just cast? That is Lingering Flame. Or it might be Flame Swath. Actually, I think it's Flame Swath because it exploded without me even having anything to do with it. And I don't know if I can kill this guy. I'm going to try, though. Oh, I'm out of those. So, how you deal with this? Run, jump, hope. There's another one right here. What you want to do is get up to her as soon as you can. Get and kill her. If you can get right behind her, it's better. This chest is trapped. Green means poison. Poison means run the hell away. And I'm the luckiest person on the face of the planet because that should have poisoned me. And you get a Ferrous Lockstone out of it. As I said previously, Ferrous Lockstones used to be actually harder to find, and then in this version of the game they made them, like, once you actually get into the game, they are so damn cool. It's kind of weird. Come on, do something. That's what I was looking for. Now I can backstab you. Grave Warden Bottoms. I don't usually equip those. I'm not a huge fan of them. So I've gotten that. We head over here. Now, this is an interesting bit. I'm going to do this in a specific way. Okay. Here's Pate. Pate is here again. Let's talk to him.
We went through a lot together. Take this as a token of our friendship.
And Pate just gave us all of his stuff. His spear, his shield, all of his armor, and his Ring of Thorns. Ring of Thorns is weird. Don't
be shy. They were meant for you. Well, we mean there's treasure this way. I don't quite have the guts, man. Well, we meet again. There's treasure this way, but I have a bad feeling about it. I don't quite have the guts myself.
So, yeah, there's a locked door here. Well, it does not open from this side, which is more or less the same as the locked door. And the way to get to it is kind of interesting. That was an interesting noise. I don't know what the heck that was. That guy should have killed me. Mannequin top, whatever. Okay, so as you can see, there is a Silverback or a Grave Warden there, and he's got a chest near him, and he's gonna sit there and turtle. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of trying to get this item. I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it as like the last thing before I go to the boss. So instead, if you bust the railing and drop down here, and then wander in here, you get the another great heavy soul arrow. Wasn't that nice? And then you can open the door to Pate. And then talk to him and tell him, you know, look at me, I'm awesome.
Well, good to see that you survived. Perhaps you're more rugged than I thought.
Sorry if you heard some weird noises, I was scratching myself.
In any case, the treasure is yours, since you went ahead and took the leap. I prefer a more cautious approach. It's hard to know who to even trust these days. For instance, I've heard that a man is out for my life. Now, what misunderstanding could have ever led to that? The poor bloke must have quite an imagination. You be careful too, my friend, for trust can be a dangerous thing. You be careful.
So, yeah, Creighton is after Pate. It's kind of weird. So anyway, you walk out here and you look down here and there's something here. And I heal up because I'm wounded. All it takes is one stupid error on my part and I'll be dead again. You open up this chest. And looky looky, a lightning spear spell. Now here's where things get interesting. If I jumped over... there's a way I can jump over there and pick up that broadsword. Since I'm showing you the way I play Dark Souls, I'm going to be honest with you, I never get this item. I think it's a waste of time. All it gets you is an item that's that's infused with a garbage infusion for the weapon type, so I don't bother. That is just the way I play. See, this is something you probably should learn, and I am not really good at, because when I start getting drilled, I actually panic. If you're getting caught in a chain like that, where he's like hitting you, and you're just sort of reeling, the best thing to do is actually to... Did I open this? Whoa. Yeah. Another big thing, right here there's a trap. Where is it? Right there. Step on it, 3 bolts come shooting out from here. Yeah, if you're getting attacked, you're actually better off not getting fixated on the block and more trying to roll away, because that will get you out of the damage. But I panic, so it just doesn't work for me. So this is just the truth of how I am. Now here, don't know if you can see them. In fact, I don't even know where they are. I wonder if there's some way I can get these guys to show up. Probably the waste of some spells, but I'm tired of dealing with these idiots. So yeah, here's the door. Now if I open this and then die and then come back here, those guys will just run through and close it again. So it's kind of irritant that they added that AI. But if you walk out this right here and walk over here, Now, I'm going to do something that may seem a little odd. Right before talking to this guy, I'm going to... You know what? I'm going to burn all of these. It's not going to get me nearly anything, but I might as well do it anyway, and then I'm going to burn all these. Which gets me a whole bunch more. You know what? I'm going to burn these two. I have a specific amount. I want just under 9,000. So that's just enough.
Shush. I'm on the run. You're a fugitive too, eh? Yeah. Why else would you be here? It's got death written all over it.
I'm sorry I skipped the dialogue. I do it by habit, just because I read faster than I hear. Like, I read those sentences almost instantly, so...
You want to climb down here? I can lend you a ladder. But, how much can you offer me? Why, yep, I'm trying to help you, you know? Have you no gratitude? Downright rude, really. I've got a soft heart, so I let you off. This once.
So you give him 2,000 souls.
All right. It'll be just a moment.
And then you get to sit through a lovely cutscene. What I find interesting about these cutscenes is that they're done in game engine, so...
Go on ahead. I won't offer this deal twice. Oh, what is it? What do you need now? Huh?
So this is Laddersmith Gilligan. So I'm going to buy an item from him, and it may seem a little odd. It's this item here. So I was wrong, I needed like 8,400. You can see he also sells Bleeding Serum, which adds bleeding effect to your weapon, useless. Aromatic Ooze that adds the magic effect to your right-hand weapon, which would be really useful for me. And then the Lacerating Knife, which is a knife that causes bleeding. I don't know. Now, I bought this item, and it seems kind of like, why? It's nothing, really. There's a specific event later on in the game that requires you to have one of these. And as I understand it, if you buy it here, it's cheaper than if you buy it later. So, now let's talk to him.
Have you heard? Well, apparently, there's this monster lady, right? And the poison, well, does wonders for her body. You know, health and beauty, that sort of stuff. And I thought only human women were so petty. That creature, she was human once, you know? Yeah. In fact, she was wed to the prince of that nearby castle. But her husband? He had feelings for another. The princess was desperate and sought eternal beauty, hoping that it would restore the prince's affection. You see what I mean? Before long, the princess's ire transformed her into a monster. Now, listen here. When do you think this all happened? Long ago, when this very land was called something else. We say Drangleic now, but countless kingdoms have risen and fallen on this very spot. And this won't be the last. Oh no. That damned hag just can't let her old flame go. She's going to get us all burnt. God almighty. I'm not going to die in this dump. God.
Okay. That's what we needed to hear from him. Now he'll move to Majula.
All the best.
Now he tells an interesting story. I've heard a lot of people who have an interpretation of that. Basically, that the queen, or the princess here, rather, excuse me, was in love with Ferris. Oh, got a Ferris Lockstone Twinkling Titanite there. The really valuable thing is the Twinkling Titanite. That the princess here was in love with the king of Drangleic before he, basically fell in love with his current queen and basically dumped her. Which is an interesting sort of thought. But as Gilligan says, this all happened a really long time ago, before there was long before there was a Drangleic. Which says to me that, I don't know, it's not related. But, you saw the thing on the Covetous Demon Soul. 1 second, I'll look it up here. Oh, I used it up. Yeah. You saw the thing in the Covetous Demon Soul where it talks about how he was devoted to someone to such an extent that he turned into the Covetous Demon. I think he was devoted to the princess, and she was devoted to the king, and the king was devoted to somebody else, and yeah, big huge lover quadrangle. So you lift up that gate, but instead of going up there, the first thing you do is come down here and grab that Divine Blessing in Soul. And then you wait for it to come back down. Make sure you're not down there. If you come out under this ladder, you'll always be safe. Then you pull it again. And I go, what the heck is that thumping noise? Anyway, run back in here. Ride it up this time. And here we get the Mirror Shield. The Mirror Shield is used by Lucatiel, and is actually in a piece of her gear. So now where I'm going is gonna feel like an idiot, and I'm gonna try and rush and use something to get rid of this poison. Going down there is worthless. There is absolutely nothing down there. Now there's a couple interesting things that you can get going on here. Let's see if I can find them all. First, second. Oh, did I do something dim? Maybe, maybe not. Hold on. We'll see. Am I gonna make it? Gonna make it not get poisoned? No, I'm gonna get poisoned. Alright, we're gonna use this. Okay. We'll see. So remember way back at the beginning where there was that fire sorceress shooting fire way back at us down onto that region down there where, there were those two big huge guys sitting in the yeah, I got poisoned again. I don't really care about using those things up. But yeah, remember that sorceress that was dropping fire down on us? This is her. We got a magic stone, which is used to put enchantment on weapons, where you use faint stone, I think, to put magic which, yes, I know doesn't make sense. Don't ask me, I just work here. So, what am I going to do here? I'm going to burn a life gem. Then I'm going to go this way. Now there's a lot of poison here. All this poison can let us do a trick. If I don't do dumb crap like that. This guy here... That heartbeat noise is what happens when you get bleeding. I think while bleeding is active you take massive damage. But yeah, the guy that just attacked me, who I should have remembered and didn't, is where you used to see them was only in the Flexile Sentry boss fight in New Game Plus. You'd see 2 of them. And then they added them to be running around the wharf in general, and which was kind of different. Now you hear that weird noise. That's because in here there's a bunch of nasties, which we're going to get to, but first I want to do something. Right here, there's a secret door. Behind that secret door, there's a bonfire. Probably the least useful bonfire in the entire game. You might think, oh, well, it's right outside what could be a boss door. Hello, kitty. Yes, my cats are back. You might think, well, that's useful. Yeah, except it kind of isn't. Petrified something used to improve boss weapons. So in here, there's a bunch of these ugly things. The real key to dealing with them is to understand that they are immune to poison, and that they like to poison themselves. Let's see. You can hit them with it, and they just don't care. They are in no way tough. Like, as a matter of fact, they are incredibly weak. But in this area, it is so easy to get in trouble that it's actually to your benefit to be very cautious around them. There's another reason you want to be cautious, and it's that chest there. Now, I don't know if there's any real way to tell in Dark Souls 2 if a chest is a mimic. In Dark Souls 1 you used to be able to look at the chain that came off the chest, and if it was pointing one way it was a mimic, and if it was pointing the other way it was a regular chest. In Dark Souls 2 there's none of those tricks. But, you know, there's a lot of poison here. So let's see if we can get that guy to poison himself, like I just did there. Which is the absolute easiest way to deal with a lot of enemies, because in this game poison is massively overpowered. So, if they can make them poison themselves, you can save a lot of trouble. Now, here you can use a Pharos Lockstone, and it will create a pool. If you haven't killed the pyramid, this pool will be poison. If you have burned the pyramid, or not the pyramid, the windmill, that will be a healing water. It's not worth the waste of a Lockstone. I don't bother at any time. Gonna drop down here, and that was really dumb of me. Now, what I'm gonna do Since I was planning on going to sit in that bonfire anyway up there, what I'm going to do is screw this up. Sorry, I was not intending to screw this up, but apparently I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the jump over here. That's the way to do it. Point towards the wall. Get your Radiant Life Gem. Backstab this guy to death. Grab his Gravewarden Mask, which is not a great piece of armor. Grab this item. This is the reason I don't do this. What do you get out of it? Crimson Water, which is nice, but nah. Crimson Water heals and gives you spells back. And then the Soul of a Brave Warrior and a Radiant Gem. All this for a really tricky jump. I'm gonna try it. Nope, died. Good thing, only lost 4,000 souls. Don't care about 4,000 souls. 4,000 souls is nothing. Okay, so now what do we do? Well, first thing I'm going to do is burn an effigy. Well, use an effigy and get my humanity back. Then that's probably a wasted wrong time to use it. Well, actually, then I'm gonna go and set the bonfire again. Just get a little bit of my health back. And then we have some fighting to do. First things first, this guy. Okay, so that's him. Next. Whoops. Ooh, my Dragon Charm. That summon sign is for a actually very interesting I have no idea what he's doing. That summon sign is for an exceedingly interesting enemy, or not enemy, summon. Was actually quite an interesting story attached to him. Whoa. That was neat. I thought he was dead. Story in that he actually appears a couple times. The first time you see him, he's here. You know? Random summon that you just get out of nowhere. You find him later in the DLC, and he's an enemy. So, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, this is him. He's Jester Thomas. Thing is about Jester Thomas, he can tank the boss himself. He is an absurdly powerful pyromancer. who's for some reason dual-wielding flames. Alright. I'm gonna actually switch to my spells because I prefer to use them here. First things first, get the hell out of the poison. Incredibly important. And then hope that Thomas gets her attention. See what I mean about absurdly powerful? So yeah, that's Mytha. I don't know who the hell he just nuked. Her attacks are, you know, she'll use her spear, she'll throw her head and it'll explode, at which point you can guarantee her, if you dodge that, you have some free hits at her, because you can guarantee that her next action is going to be jumping for her head. She sometimes does a magical bolt attack, and she sometimes will swing her tail. Now, here's where a lot of people have a lot of issues with the geometry of Dark Souls, or the geography rather. This is supposedly the top of the tower. Like, if you go that way and you walk outside and you look out and you go through the secret door and kill the desert sorceress and you look up, there's sky. Which, by any reasonable understanding, means this is basically a roof of a cave in the mountain, near the top. Which means that this is also, like, this may be the peak. Which means that this elevator makes no sense. Like, none whatsoever. This elevator that goes up this incredibly long thing through a roof, through a whole bunch of this into like different colored rock and into another area with like even more different colored bricks, and then you walk right out here and that's the sky. Kind of a weird molten sky. And that's lava right down there. And that guy's attacking me. I better switch to a melee weapon. These are the Knights of Alone. They wander around this area. But yeah, so a lot of people are like, but that means this lava is on top of the mountain. And it's not. This path here, this, you know, this short path, and then, you know, that long elevator ride and all that, it was supposed to signify, and they kind of failed at it, and I think the only way they could have really done it was by making, you have to walk through some really long and winding paths was supposed to be you going into the mountain and somehow deep in the mountain finding a path through them down and then up into this. They didn't do it well because they condensed it all to make it, you know, a fast sort of experience. But yeah, so this is the Iron Keep. The Iron Keep is an interesting area. There didn't used to be that guy who attacked you right away. There used to be a guy... I'm trying not to go too far in because I don't want to get attacked by an invasion. There used to be a guy over there, you know, right beside the door. There used to be another guy right beside this. And if you got too close, they'd attack you. Now, the moment you walk in, there's a dude on the bridge, and he'll attack you. But you walk down here, and there's a bonfire. So that's enough for today. I'm going to talk more about this area. This area has some interesting tricks to it, and I don't know if I'm going to show all of them, but I'll try and show, you know, a couple of them. I'll try and get some of the more entertaining items out of it. But until then, I will see you guys later. Have a good one.